Developing Peak Productivity by Dennis Becker and Jason Flatty. Productivity is the name of the game. I don't care what you're doing, creating products, writing sales copy, driving traffic, etc. If you can't do any or all of these tasks efficiently, you will make less money, period. If it takes you 12 hours to set up a money-getting site when it could have taken you 2, you just lost 10 hours of profit time. Ouch. It gets worse. Taking a long time to do anything creates a negative association to that task. Therefore, next time you have to do it, you'll naturally be resistant to it. Because you'll think of the last time you did it, how long and cumbersome it was, and pretty soon you'll find creative ways to procrastinate on it. Put this in your mind and keep it there. Developing peak productivity is the most valuable skill you can cultivate in your business. And we're going to show you how to do just that. Was today a success? Peak productivity starts with measurement. And one of the best measurements is to know if today will be a success or failure for you. Question: do you know if yesterday was a success or not? The day before? And the day before that? You should know the answer to that every day. Here's how you know if a day was a success or not. If you met the measurable goal you set for that day, wait, what's that? You don't set a goal every single day for that day? If not, you should do so ASAP. If you follow this one practice alone, your productivity will at least triple. Simple as that. Long-term goals are dead. The chaos of the marketplace and the rapid change we all experience these days make long-term goals ineffective. You need short-term goals, one a day. So here's what it looks like. You wake up in the morning. You know exactly what you need to do that day to define the day as a success. Then at the end of the day, you simply look back at your goal and ask yourself, did I meet it or not? If you go day after day not meeting your goal, then who are you kidding? You're screwed. You either need to change your goal or change how you approach your goals. Let's give some examples. Say you need traffic for one of your websites. So your goal for tomorrow might be focus 3 hours of uninterrupted work on doing things that could bring traffic to your site. That's your goal. By the way, notice the keyword, uninterrupted. That doesn't mean from 9 a.m. until noon, and then you're done. If you were chatting on Skype, taking a ton of breaks to check email and mess around, then your 3 hours of uninterrupted work might actually extend from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Regardless, you now have a goal today. Do stuff for at least 3 hours of actual work to generate traffic. That might mean an hour of writing and submitting articles. That might be an hour of creating and deploying content for social media. And it might be an hour of contacting and trying to set up joint ventures. Now, let's clarify. Studying is not doing. Reading an ebook on how to drive traffic is not actively working to drive traffic. Get it? See how the nature of that day's goals practically forces us to be productive? That's the secret. Set a goal that will force you to be productive to get the results you need, and then work at it. Simple as that. Every single day, you should have a goal for that day. Then you do it. Welcome to the world of high-level productivity. Have a high tolerance for imperfections. Here's a statement you should agree with. Striving to be perfect is imperfect. You know what perfect really is in the marketplace? Good enough. Good enough is perfect. There will be times when you don't write exactly what you want to write when you send an email out to your list. Who cares? As long as you get the basic point across, it doesn't matter. Good enough. There might be a time when you're setting up a blog and you want the header to be slightly different, but you tweaked it and tweaked it and tweaked it, and you can't get it there. Who cares? Is the header really that important? No, move on. Tying this to your daily goal will help you out tremendously. If your goal for that day was to spend 3 hours driving traffic, that's 3 hours less you have to spend tinkering with other stuff. So that helps there. But it goes beyond that. Your customers don't want perfect. They hate it when you try to be perfect. They'd rather have good enough now than perfect 4 weeks from now. They just want information. They just want the technique. Here's what will help you eliminate this whole it has to be perfect problem. You can always improve it later. You can always make it better later. So put it out there and set the goal that 2 weeks from now, you'll go back and spend 2 hours improving it. Better to get it out to the marketplace as quickly as possible and then improve it based on feedback instead of trying to make it perfect. You do no one benefit if you try to make things perfect, not your customers, not you, no one. So work for good enough instead. The power of self-imposed deadlines. Here's the best strategy to force yourself to work for good enough: a self-imposed deadline. Every task worth doing in your business must have a deadline attached to it. And to take it a step further, when the deadline is up, you're done. Let me give you an example. Say you set a deadline to have a new product finished in the next 48 hours. Guess what? Whatever you have to show for when 48 hours is up, that's what you're launching. If you truly were to follow that principle, you'd make sure you had something that was good enough to launch in 48 hours. The nature of the deadline makes you deal with the most critical elements of the task. If you don't have a deadline on a task, then you can focus on anything for any period of time because there is no sense of urgency. But if you have 48 hours, you're not going to waste your time making sure that every sentence is worded perfectly, everything is formatted perfectly, and that you've included every single detail, big and small, in your product. No. A 48-hour deadline means that you better focus on delivering great information first and foremost. Then, if you have time, you can go back and clean up some sentences or improve the formatting or add in more stuff. Here's a sentence you should put in your brain and keep it there. Anything worth doing in business must have a deadline attached to it. Checking email must have a deadline attached to it. Writing a blog post must have a deadline attached to it. Setting up a website must have a deadline attached to it. Writing a sales letter must have a deadline attached to it. Anything worth doing must have a deadline attached to it. You follow this principle, you will easily triple your productivity. Easily. Using the 6 prongs of motivation. All humans are motivated by 6 things. Use all 6 as motivators and you will more easily propel you to get things done. To use self-imposed deadlines, to set small daily goals, and to make constant improvements in your approaches and systems. These 6 motivators are: number 1, the desire to obtain power. Number 2, the fear of losing power. Number 3, the desire to help others. Number 4, the fear of not being able to help others. Number 5, the desire to achieve. And number 6, the fear of not achieving. There you go. Every day, you should go through this list after you set your daily goals to give yourself some motivation. For example, if your goal was to work 3 hours straight at doing different stuff to get traffic, you could go through this list and say, getting traffic will better allow me to control my financial destiny because I have a crowd I can always tap into once I get that traffic. And that's the desire to obtain power. If I don't get traffic, I'm doomed to the hope and pray strategy of someone making money online, and I'll be rendered virtually powerless. That's the fear of losing power. Also, once I discover a really great traffic generating secret, I can share it with other marketers and help them achieve their goals as well. That's the desire to help others. But if I don't discover this, then I can't contribute anything worthwhile to the world to make it a better place. And that's the fear of not helping others. And at the end of the day, I know I can sleep peacefully because I set out a goal and I achieved it. So I did what winners do. And if I do this every day, I know my success is guaranteed. That's the desire to achievement. Because if I don't, I'm building a bad habit of not achieving my goals, and I don't want that because my life will be horrible if I don't go out and achieve amazing things and live up to my full potential. And that's the fear of not achieving. Anytime you feel like you're burning out or need some motivation to continue working towards your small daily goal, just pull out the list of 6 motivators and go through them really quickly to give yourself a boost of motivation. Do this enough and it will become second nature. You'll eventually unlock your motivation code, so you know how to always motivate yourself to get things done. Result, you will be an unstoppable goal-achieving machine.